Hey, welcome to EMS Office Hours. This is Jim Hoffman. These are your Monday minutes. Guys, today we're going to continue on with the cardiovascular emergencies. This is part two. I want to talk a little bit about pacemaker rates. And guys, of course, I always want to go ahead and get into why this stuff is important before we get into the actual content of each episode. You might have heard this before, but I'm going to say it again because I think it is vital that you understand that while this information is key stuff you will usually see on an exam, especially national or state exams, final exams, things like that, it's also designed to build your knowledge base, guys, to hopefully trigger some interest into looking further into these topics, into researching more if you don't understand what's going on, okay, and to build your knowledge base and to move that knowledge needle. And that, of course, is going to help you make better clinical decisions out in the field. It's going to make you do better reports and interact more efficiently with other healthcare providers. So today, I want to talk about the EKGs and the actual pacemakers of the heart, okay? Guys, I want to remind you, though, before we get into this stuff, is that this is very, very basic, right? Cardiovascular emergencies are weeks long, okay, inside any paramedic course. Even in EMT courses, when they get to that section, is a lot longer than just a quick 15-20 minute video, okay? I'm trying to go over the key kind of points here that are hopefully going to trigger the information you need to recognize whether or not you need to go ahead and get more training on it, okay? Whether it's self-training, whether it's going out and doing continuing education classes, whatever the case may be, okay? It's designed to go ahead and get your kind of mindset as to where you are with this content, okay? So keep that in mind when I'm going over this stuff, and I might not be going too deep into different sections, okay? So again, today we'll talk about the inherent pacemaker rates of the heart, okay? Now, you might hear people say foci, stuff like that, and that just means it's the focus, okay? And this is where the electrical impulses start, all right? And it's important to note that you need to have that organized rhythm, okay, for proper perfusion of the heart and of the body, okay? Now, remember, the EKG itself, it just shows the electrical impulses. It's not proof that the heart is actually beating, right? So be sure to check for a physical pulse, your radial, your carotid, your femoral, okay, or femoral, and make sure you feel a pulse because there may be no mechanical capture going on of that electrical signal that you're seeing on the EKG. All right, keep that in mind at all times, right? Always look at your patient in addition to the monitor that you're looking at. So we want to talk about the EKG itself, guys. Again, these are going to be pretty much kind of just descriptions of what you might see on exams, okay? And again, now don't understand stuff, go back, open your textbook, use resources out there to study more. Life in the Fast Lane is a good one. EKG Academy is a good one. You can even claim the Ultimate EKG Guide over on the main site, and that gives you a lot of great information there as well, okay? So complexes, guys, those are the blocks of rhythms that you see on the EKG. Your isoelectric line, that's the midline on the EKG, okay? Keep in mind that things that go up of that line is depolarizing, and things that are going down that line is repolarizing, okay? Your normal sinus rhythm, that is what you always, of course, want to see, right? That originates in the uppermost node, that SA node, sinoatrial node, right? And that rate is usually between 60 and 100 beats per minute. Now, talking about some other key elements, guys, is the next section, or the AV junction, okay? That is where your SA node, your sinoatrial node, is not firing, or it's failing, the atria is failing, then the junctional nodes are going to start, okay? And this is usually 40 to 60 beats per minute, okay? And then you might see junctional rhythms. And those are usually any rhythm that starts in the AV node or in the AV junction, okay? EMD, just give you some quick descriptions here just so you know for your own resources here. The EMD is that electromechanical dissociation, and PEA is that pulseless electrical activity. Sometimes you might see these interchanged with each other depending upon where you learn and who you're speaking to, okay, on who sees what as what, right? So keep those sort of definitions in mind when you're looking at exams and you're thinking about testing and stuff like that. Okay, and again, guys, a lot of this stuff might be common to you already. You might know a lot of this stuff already. Okay, this is meant for a review, and again, it's meant to ring those bells and to kind of identify for yourself where you are and whether you need help to look further into this content. So let's talk some more about the pacemakers, okay? Your ventricular pacemaker, right? This is if the SA node's not firing, your atria, your AV junction are failing, okay? Then it goes into your bundle branches and your Purkinje fibers, okay? And this is where your heartbeat's going to be between, I'm sorry, I got 2 here, but it's actually between 20 and 40 beats per minute. And you'll see things like VFib, and that's a totally unorganized rhythm. The heart is actually quivering, okay? That's the defibrillation when you need to use that. And your VTAC, and those are those wide, very wide QRS complexes, very wide rhythms. And the electrical impulses are coming from your lower bundles, okay? And again, that might be requiring fibrillation as well, depending upon whether the patient has a pulse with that ventricular tachycardia or does not have a pulse with the ventricular tachycardia. So that's why you always got to check for a pulse, even if you see VTAC, because the patient might actually have a pulse with that, and that's, of course, going to determine your treatment and what you're going to be doing for that patient. Now, I want to talk about PVCs, guys. PVC is a premature ventricular contraction. This is kind of looks like a big, fat-looking, weird wave that's in the middle of all your regular QRS complexes, okay? And we talk about PVCs, they're different types, and when you have them in frequency, right? So unifocal PVCs is when you've got one focal point is firing, and then you're getting, so they're all going to look the same, okay? All your PVCs will look the same. And your multifocal, when you've got multiple focal points of firing, and your PVCs are still going to be wide, going to be weird-looking complexes, but you're going to have different shapes and sizes of those when they're multifocal. And your bigeminy, this is when you get a PVC on your EKG, which is 1 out of every 2 contractions. And your trigeminy is when you get that PVC coming at 1 out of every 3 contractions. Okay, so I want to show you just real quick, guys, some of the EKGs. For example, this is your junctional rhythm right there. Here goes a VTAC rhythm. Okay, let's look at it. This is your PVC, and this will be a unifocal PVC. It'll be the same every time. This is your multifocal PVCs. You can see how they're all kind of different sizes, right? There's 3 of them here. This is your trigeminy. You see the PVC every 3rd beat. And then your bigeminy, where you've got the PVC showing up after every QRS complex. So I kind of hope this makes sense, guys. I hope this is kind of ringing some bells for you. I hope you engage with me over on social media. I'm at EMS Safe, both on Twitter and on Instagram. And you can get me at Facebook as well, at the EMS Professional. So it's facebook.com/the EMS Professional. So join with me on there, guys. Of course, I also encourage you to go over to the main website, emssco.com. You can get a lot more study help, and including stuff for exams, presentations, downloads, videos, audios, all in one nice little website. A lot of it's free, some of it's low cost and fee-based, okay, but it's all designed to increase your knowledge base so you have more education, which is going to give you success in your career as an EMT or as a paramedic, and of course open up more opportunities for you as a EMS health professional as well. Okay, so go check that on the site, guys, as well. Don't forget, I also mentioned earlier about the ultimate EKG guide. That's available at emssco.com. That is really the entire sort of basic overlay of how to read EKGs, okay? Go check that out. I'll put a link to that in the show notes so you can easily get to that uh, uh, item and you can see what it's all about and whether or not it's something you think might help you in your EKG reading and your understanding of rhythms. Okay, so that's it, guys. Of course, I always encourage you, if you have some minutes of your own, to send them over to me. My email is contact@emsofficehours.com. Be sure to visit emsofficehours.com, guys, and watch the previous Monday Minutes. Listen to the podcast there and other content that I post on that site on a regular basis. And of course, if you want to hear something, send it to me in that email address. DM me on any of the social media accounts, and I'll be more than happy to discuss with you some other items we might be including here on the Monday Minutes. We can kind of break away from the EMS quick study tips and do something that you might want to see in particular here on the Monday Minutes. All right, guys, again, that's it. I hope this really helped you out and maybe rang some bells and encourages you to go and do some more studying to really increase your knowledge, guys. Be a better EMS professional. Move that knowledge base and that knowledge needle on a regular basis. All right, guys, that's it. For me, I am Jim Hoffman for EMS Office Hours on the Monday Minutes. Stay safe.